You know, it breaks my heart to see health educators who have a life-saving message to not be able to capture attention online when they're sharing their health solutions. And if you are a health educator, you've got a health message, and you want to be able to capture people's attentions and share your health products online, then this video is going to show you how you can make more money and more profitable presentations and create content that converts. In one of the biggest secrets that I've found as teaching health lessons for the last 8+ years and being able to generate over $500,000 on the back of one signature speech, and being able to help health educators to understand how to market and monetize their health knowledge online, I've found that to stop the scroll, to stand out in 3-second world, to be able to connect and make more sense when you're communicating, one of the best things, the tools to be able to use is props. See, because here's the secret. Props equal profit. And what happens is when you use props, like for instance, we're talking about profit. So if you want more money and you want to be able to share more and to resonate and make sense and keep people's attention, one thing I've learned is even if you're showing how expensive it is to eat junk food or surgeries that are not necessary, or to be able to use expensive drugs as an alternative to like instead of using the plants or our body's natural ability to heal itself with nutrition, or letting food be your medicine. When you're talking about the expense, you can show how you could literally have some money as a prop. And there's something about money. It's just when people hold money, when they see money, it's like their attention stands out. And when you are talking about the expense of being sick, the expense of disease and the challenges people have, then being able to have money as a prop is something that could really arrest people's attention. Sometimes even it just like holding money, if you look at it a couple times, you don't even have to be talking about money, but if you look at it, if you talk about it, if you're holding it, like sometimes that alone will capture people's attention. But I'll give you an example. One way that I've been able to capture people's attention in my signature speech, what I've shared with people is that the average user that introduces my superfood nutrition into their lifestyle saves about, not 100, but about $200 a month by incorporating our superfood system into their family's nutrition. I was on a sales call with someone, and she was saying, you know, Enoch, I'm having a hard time paying for groceries. I'm paying $100 a week, and it's expensive, and to think about putting more money into something else, that just seems hard. And I was like, wow, Jill, you know, if you're struggling to pay for your groceries, you can't afford not to adopt this superfood system, because you can save money on your groceries. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm talking about redirecting some of the money that you're already spending into groceries that are not serving you or helping you to reach your health goals, and then investing in a superfood system that you know is going to make a profound difference in your life and your family's. She's like, wow. And I told her that the average user saves about $200 a month. How would you like to do that? And she said, yeah, that sounds good. So she got into our 30-day program, and as she is incorporating the superfood in her food and in her husband's food, what ended up happening was she got on one of our calls, and she was coming to one of our events, and she was sharing her testimony how when she first heard that she was going to save $200 a month on her groceries, she's like, I didn't believe it. But it's been an entire month since I've been on here, and I used to pay $100 a week. Now I'm paying $50 a week. I literally am saving money on my groceries. And she's like, this is great. She was able to lose several pounds. She's done several cleanses in the past, and none of them has been as thorough as this deep cellular cleanse that she's been going through with our program. And she was really excited about it. And $200 is a powerful prop. But another thing, if you take $200 and you were to add $200 throughout the entire year, that's not just $200 bills, but you see that would be $2,400 a year that you're able to save on your groceries. Now, when you're speaking to an audience, whether it's online or offline, in person or virtual, if you say, how many people would like to save an extra $2,400 a year in their groceries. And people raise their hand. They're like, yeah, I do. But just saying the numbers is hard to grasp. But there's something about when you have the stacks of cash, or when you have a dollar bill, or when you're able to give demonstrations with money, if you can show how much it costs. Here's another tip, where instead of showing how much it costs to say yes to your offer and your health products, or should I say, before you tell them how much it costs to say yes, start showing them how much it's already costing them to say no. And when they could associate that it is more expensive for them to keep doing what they're doing, they're going to be more likely to say yes to what you have to offer that can help them save money, save energy, save time, and help them to feel better and be healthier. Now, this having this much cash, wouldn't recommend it in a local event. So you could probably do a dollar bill, or $100 or so. But whether it's online, you can get away with larger stacks of cash if it's through video. But in person, just quick tip, you don't want to be carrying around all that cash in front of a large audience. Anything can happen, right? But because we're online, I'll show you $2,400 that you could save in your groceries, right? So that's an example how you can use props to be able to capture people's attention. And props really equal profit. Even the way that I have my background here is a form of a prop. Sometimes your background, your environment, the location that you're at can be a prop. Here, I've got 3 color cards that I'm going to tear off. I'm going to tell you something new about using props to capture people's attention online or offline when you're selling health products. And when you have them cover up, people are like, I wonder what's next. That made sense. I'd like to stay in until they can close a gap. You created a gap between what they know, what they don't know, and the curiosity compels people to keep listening. And that's the goal, is you want to make sure that, I like to think of the content as value per second. It's not that people's attention spans is shorter, it's that people have a better higher standards for the quality of content that they listen to. They got a lot of different options that they could be paying attention to. And so if people's attention spans were getting shorter, then they wouldn't watch hours of binge watching on Netflix, or they wouldn't read an entire email or long form sales letters, or they wouldn't be reading entire books, which people still read books. They still watch lots of hours. They still go on YouTube and they binge watch these videos or watch long documentaries. It's because their attention spans aren't getting shorter. There's better options or more options. So we want to be able to think about value per second, that we're able to continue to add value and they'll continue to tune in. Does that make sense? If you're getting value from this so far, how about type value in the chat below and let me know. So another way that you could use props is like if you have different body parts. See, you're a health educator, you're going to talk about the body. It's very easy for you to be able to grab a prop like this. Here's a heart. One story that I often share to capture people's attention is I had a heart attack when I was 12. I was 210 pounds. I was borderline diabetic. I was high cholesterol. I was the second fattest kid of an elementary school of about 1,000 students. And when I had a heart attack, it changed my life. And they rushed me to the hospital, took my blood work, and found out that I was borderline diabetic. And I was shocked, and I want to know, what could I do to change my life, because I realized my life may never be the same again if something doesn't change. And then that got me seeking out more solutions. And there was a man who had a health message, who learned how to market his health message, and he sold my mother a seminar, a complete health improvement plan. And as she went through that, she shared with me the lessons, and it literally transformed my life. I was able to lose 50 pounds in 3 months, never put it back on. I'm no longer pre-diabetic and no longer high cholesterol, high blood pressure. It really changed my life. And from that experience, I've been able to share hundreds of times around stages throughout the United States and Canada. And but having a simple prop, if I'm talking about a heart attack, then having a heart makes sense for just people to be able to grasp. If you are talking about different parts of the body, you can have a prop. Like sometimes if you're talking about bone structure, you can have a skeleton. If you're talking about a hand, you could have hands or fingers. You could do something that will be able to attach their minds to what you're saying using an illustration. Jesus used this a lot. We talk about having PowerPoints today. That's another way of having visuals. But it's so interesting. Christ, who I believe is one of the greatest teachers this world has ever known, his props he would literally go into the field and he would point at the lilies and say, consider the lilies, how they toil not. So his power was in the points. And he would literally be, as people were walking and they see the salt that's being downtrodden and it's being thrown overboard and people are walking and trampling all over it, he would say that you are the salts of the earth. And a salt that has lost its savor is good for nothing and gets thrown away. People trample it underfoot. So you want to be a savor like the salts of the earth. And he would literally point at the salt and he would have these visual aids. He would use his backgrounds and he would have these props that would help to link the association, reach people through their familiar associations in a way that they otherwise wouldn't be able to see. And, you know, a little stress ball, this is a little squishy, but a little heart like this is aight. But you know what's better than a little stress ball? Bigger is better. And if you were to have something like this, see, this is, you can have a pillow, you can have an inflatable. Just the fact that it's a bigger prop is going to be able to capture the attention a little better. It's more outstanding. It's bright colored. Notice that all my cards are bright colored. Sometimes you can have a stuffed animal of a heart, and it could be like this, or it could be something different. You can have a stuffed other organ, or you can have bigger props are generally going to capture people's attention. If you could exaggerate them in your props, or if you can have something bold, then those will help people to be able to stick their attention, because it's different, it's unique. It's not just a talking head. There's something that you could look at, right? So as I'm sharing, having a heart attack, or maybe talking about heart health, and those are the types of things you're able to do. Even in, you saw in the beginning of the video when I had the piece of paper, I said, you know, it breaks my heart, and ripped the piece of paper. You're like, whoa, what is going on here? To see health educators who have a life-saving message are unable to capture attention online. And I want to do something to fix that. This is a way to disrupt the pattern, to stop the scroll, to help people to tune in and say, this could be a little interesting. So bigger is better. When you're thinking about props, you could literally look around your house and you could find objects and think, what is a metaphor? What's an object lesson? What is some symbol that I can use and tie it into my offer, my health coaching, my health products, and help them to connect the dots? What are some, and whenever you have something that is complex or highly scientific or something that's hard to visualize, it's so important to be able to find a way to connect what they already know with what this new understanding that they don't know. And sometimes when you have in the health niche, we want to share these scientific words that's kind of like techno-babble when we're communicating to people. And if you're using techno-babble, then people won't understand. Now, what is techno-babble? Techno-babble is when you're using terminology and jargon that is more complex that another community or audience wouldn't already know the definition. And what happens is if you're speaking, the moment you say that word, you lost people. Like they're following you, but when you assume that they know all of these words and what they mean, just because you're the health expert doesn't mean that they're an expert on their health. They're coming to you for help. So instead of assuming that they already know all this great truth that you have, like assume that they don't know what you know, and then find a way to be able to simplify the complex things. People get paid a premium who are able to take complex ideas and simplify them. One of the ways I've been able to do that in our signature speech and our business is I talk about these telomeres. We have a telomere support product that helps to lengthen your telomeres. And if you don't know what they are, it's kind of like you have these chromosomes. And these chromosomes are in the cells of all of our body. And the chromosomes, you have like X and Y chromosomes. And what happens is your chromosomes have a tip. It's a cap. It's kind of like the shoelace, the plastic cap of your shoelace. And what happens is when you're first born, they're really long. And like a baby has a very long telomere. But then as you age, as you get older, the telomere starts to shorten. And the telomere is this red piece of your chromosome. And this is your DNA. This is the foundation of human health. This is every degenerative disease has been directly linked to the length of a telomere. And I show people how as you get older, this might be like a teenager. This might be kind of like middle-aged, and then it starts getting shorter and shorter, and they start to fray because every time that your cells make a copy of themselves, your telomeres get shorter. Poor nutrition is going to shorten the telomeres. Stress is going to shorten the telomeres. And then what happens is once it gets really shortened, and now it's significantly shorter than when you started, this represents the death of a cell. And if it's an eye cell, it's going to manifest in blindness. If it's a kidney cell, then it might show up in diabetes. Or if it's a stomach cell, then it might come up as digestive issues. But every degenerative disease has been linked to this telomere. So what we have in our health food store, we have a product that helps to lengthen the telomere and to support your body's natural ability to heal itself through nutrition. And by having a rope, which is really just red tape on a rope that helps to express the concept of a telomere, of one, what it looks like, and two, as it's shortening, it's able to express the concept of it, and it can be kind of like a shoestring that you're able to make the connection. All of us know what a shoestring is, right? But the average Joe, when you ask them, hey, do you know what a telomere is? Most people are going to say no. So because it is a complex idea, and it's important to understand the value of a telomere in order to see value in buying our products, then I got to find a creative way to be able to captivate, entertain, educate, inspire people to wrap their heads around the concept. So here is the third point. Simple sells, but complexity fails. If you are too complex, you're soaring above people's heads, using language that the common people just don't understand, then your conversions are going to drop. It's very interesting because you find many of the most influential communicators, when you look at the presidents who have won campaigns, many of them will, you can actually transcribe their presidential speeches. You can put them through an app called Hemingway app, and it will tell you what reading level these communicators are speaking in. And many of the top communicators in the world actually speak at a 5th grade, 3rd grade reading level so that the masses are able to understand. But what happens is when you use complex words without defining them, then you actually, people tune out and they stop listening. And it shows up in a decline of sales, a decline of attention, decline of watch time. And when you're able to speak in simple terms that people can understand, then this is what's going to help them to create those buying beliefs, transfer beliefs, follow you all the way to the back of the room where they are ready to sign up take on their order forms and then start having your life transforming health programs or products, whatever the case is. So in summary, what I would suggest is if you want to capture attention online, what I have found has been extremely helpful for engaging audiences, whether it's online or offline, is by finding ways to take your ideas and create props. It works great for the first few seconds of a video. It works great for Facebook ads if you're running those, or if you're just speaking and you want to engage or re-engage an audience that might be drifting, then pulling out a prop will just get people on the edge of the seats. And people who pay attention, they tend to be more willing to pay for the end. If you can't capture their attention to hear your message, then you'll never be able to serve them through your solutions and your health products and coaching and your methodologies. And so for today, if you found this valuable and you thought that you've learned some insights that can make you a better communicator, and you want to grow your health education business online, then what I have is a 5-day high-income health expert challenge. And in this challenge, you're going to learn the secret to attracting clients who want to pay you. You're going to learn how I've been able to make big money with a small audience, and how you can too. Contrary to popular belief, you don't need a large audience to make large sums of money online. With simple strategies, with being able to communicate to people and having the right offer, you can make a big difference in people's lives. And if you want to know some marketing methods directly for health educators, health coaches, health speakers, authors, coaches, then comment challenge below, and I would love to send you the information where you too can join me for these 5 days as we look at your business. we deep dive into your questions and and I'll pull back the curtains on some of the methods that I've used to build a multiple six-figure health business online, and some of my millionaire mentors have been sharing for how they've been able to grow their business. And I really look forward to seeing you in the community. It's so fun that we get to do this, and I look forward to hearing from you. Remember, friends, God doesn't call it qualified. He qualifies a called. Have a great day, and God bless.